So this is going to be a bit more of a yapping video, I think. For people who maybe are not aware, about a month ago, I quit my full-time 9 to 5. And ever since that moment, I've had a lot of people reach out and ask me why. What happened? How did you make that decision? And I think that people that ask this are usually in two camps. They're either in the camp of, I've made the leap and it was the best thing ever, and I'm so glad you did the same. Or they're in the camp of, I'm considering this, but I don't really know if this is the right step for me. And so I want to talk a little bit about that, about the realities of what that really looks like to um, ditch that comfort and stability and to chase a dream. Because there's a lot to it. It's not as simple and romantic as you maybe see in the movies. So just a little bit of background on me. I've worked now in like 4 or 5 different industries and different careers. I always wanted to be a writer. Since I was a kid, I was told that writing is not something that you can do as a career unless you're J.K. Rowling. And so instead, I went into teaching. I did education, tutoring, graduated from university with a degree in educational psychology and history. And so I worked in the education system. I did support work, so kind of CNA type of stuff, in home with different kinds of clients doing healthcare related things. And I worked a lot of other odd end jobs, doing like food trucks and all other kinds of stuff. Then I went and volunteered through my church in the Netherlands and Europe for 2 years. And at the end of that, I realized that actually teaching is not what I want to do with my life. I love teaching, but I could not imagine standing in front of a classroom. So I made the tough decision to basically ditch my 3 years of studies and instead to go into marketing because I was fascinated by marketing. I thought it was so interesting to apply the stuff that I'd learned about psychology in school to marketing. How do you capture and engage people? How do you keep them interested? How do you help people through the vehicle of communication? So I got into marketing and I moved to the US because I met this super cute girl that I ended up marrying. But as anyone who has immigrated to the US knows, it can be a complex process to be able to legally live and work here. And so for, I think it's about 6 months, might have been longer, I wasn't able to work. So I was being a bit of a bum at home. I mean, I couldn't earn any money. My wife was working 2 jobs. And that gave me a little bit of PTSD. It's really hard to not be able to provide for your family. And so eventually I got my work permit and I landed this job where I was able to work in marketing and eventually in sales. And landing that job is one of the greatest blessings of my life because it allowed me to provide for my family. It gave me a lot of stability and security that I haven't had for a really long time. And I worked with some really amazing people. It was just a really great situation. But there was always this gnawing and this nagging in the back of my head that this can't really be it, right? And so through a whole lot of circumstances, the opportunity came and the question became, do I stay or do I go all in on my dream? And I'm a real overthinker. So I was analyzing all the different perspectives, all the reasons why not to do that, basically. And so I wrestled with this for weeks and weeks. And I thought, no, I want to be able to provide for my family and give them that security. Then I had some conversations with some friends, with my wife, with people that I trusted. And I started to realize, and I've put it on the board up here, if not now, then when? And I realized that if I didn't take this chance, if I didn't actually go all in and do this, I would probably regret it for the rest of my life. Because there would be no opportunity better than right now to take that chance. It would only get harder, more complicated. We are expecting our first baby. And the more kids you have, the more complicated things get. I understand they get more expensive as they get older, which I'm really excited for. But if not now, then when was I going to do it? And so that really hit home to me because I've become more and more convinced that your life is whatever you want to make of it. And so I have no hate against working 9 to 5s. I think 9 to 5s are fantastic. For a vast majority of people, I think that it's going to give you exactly what you need in terms of security, safety, opportunities to grow and to develop and to socialize, to work with people and all that kind of stuff. That being said, it just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. And I wanted to push myself because my aims for myself and my life and my family's life are a lot higher. I want to be able to travel the world. I want to be able to work with world-class people. I wanted to develop a skill set that would make me a category of one because no one else can do what I can do. I want to be the best in the world. And all these dreams would just not be possible in a cubicle working a 9 to 5 for me. And so I made the decision to take the leap, to take a chance and to bet on myself. And so if you're considering that option for yourself, if you're thinking through, well, is this something that I want to do? Is this something that drives me enough, that I care enough about? You have to be really honest with yourself because this process is really hard. It is really complicated. And so you have to ask yourself some questions like, am I willing to stick with this longer than is likely going to be comfortable? Am I willing to sacrifice a lot of the security and the comforts that I had to be able to work this out, to be able to make this work? Am I willing to have people ask questions about what I'm doing with my life and why I'm throwing things away, and to have the pressure of expectations of other people and the eyebrows that are raised at family gatherings and whatever it is? Are you willing to remove the safety rails and to give yourself the opportunity to fully embrace your potential, to grow and to really express yourself in the deepest, most authentic way that you know how, and it's something you figure out, and embrace that process? Because that's, I think, why I fell in love with entrepreneurship and writing, is that you get to create your own pathway. You get to learn and to experience things that are almost impossible in any other way. And the ceiling of your potential, and I'm not just talking money, your personal potential, is higher when everything relies on you. And that's a big step. It is a big sacrifice, and it is a huge bet. But I think it's a safer bet than counting on things to just stay the same. And so for me, I want to take the chance. And it's landed me an amazing new job doing exactly what I want to be doing. I've met some incredible people who have mentored and encouraged me and supported me in the journey. And even though there is still a lot of uncertainty, there is also a lot that I figured out. And when I really take the opportunity to stop and think about those things, I'm really grateful that I was willing to take that chance and to go for it. And so I'm not going to tell you to take the leap, but ask yourself seriously, if not now, when are you going to do it? And if you don't do it, are you going to live with that regret for the rest of your life? There are other ways to go about it than quitting your job, but I think the biggest tragedy is to not live up to your full potential, to give your full gift to the world, to make that difference that you're capable of making, just because you were thinking small and thinking realistically. Because no one that thinks realistically ever did anything incredible or amazing. And I'm not saying I'm going to change the world, but I'm saying that I'm going to try. And so we're about a month into this experiment, so I'll keep you updated on how things go. But I'm glad I took the leap. For me, it was worth it.